What's up, everybody? Brett here, and I have a fun subscriber battle for y'all. This is Total War Warhammer 2. We've got Uzumaki Norio versus Git Crumper, Skaven versus the Greenskins. I love both of these builds. You've got a very elite kind of deathball style build here from the Skaven with the Council Guard applying that Guardian Aura to Lord Skrolk. You've got an Assassin here for some hard hitting Lord sniping. You've got two Doom Wheels. You've got the Doom Wheel, and then you have the Wheels of Doom here, the blue Regiment of Renown. The big difference being that, in addition to being a rank 9 Doom Wheel, it also has really high missile damage comparatively to the standard Doom Wheel. Front line of cheap clan rats, but a back line of Plague Monk, Censer Bearers, and Rat Ogres. And this battle is underway right off the bat. Uzumaki Norio's Orc build, I love it a lot, or his Greenskin build, I should say. He's using a ton of Goblins. He's got Skarsnik, he has a Night Goblin Shaman, and an Orc Shaman. He's got Vindictive Glare, he has Sneaky Stealing, which is going to be taking Lord Skrolk's Winds of Magic for most of this game. Right off the bat, you see Plague going off. We've got the Draining effect. Lord Skrolk is in the front lines. It's going to be good. He's providing leadership to all of the different Skaven units, and they're going to smash these cheap Goblins. With a little bit of support and leadership, I love the inclusion of Goblins mixed in amongst things like Black Orcs. They provide that chaff, that meat shield unit that takes all the damage, so the Black Orcs can stay in the fight and deal it. Savage Orc Biggins, of course, are not going to run, but they do need the support here from the Night Goblin Squighawkers. They're going to come through the back and sandwich these clan rats with shields. Stand Your Ground is going to be giving these Skaven a surprising amount of leadership. Brainbuster going off in the heart of the melee blob. So there was a plan here, I think. These trolls are actually a great inclusion as well for fighting against rat ogres. The rusty arrows coming in from the side. So anytime I see the inclusion of an orc shaman with vindictive, what's that called? It's a different ability here on the orcs, and it's so awkward to always try and get it. Gaze of Mort. Anytime I see Gaze of Mort plus Vindictive Glare plus Skarsnik, who has the Prada, he did not bring it in this battle though. If you look here, he doesn't have his Prada. So those are 3 magic missile attacks, and you can snipe out almost any lord in the game if you use all 3 of those abilities in conjunction. Assassin's Trophy is off on him, and being surrounded by all of these Plague Monks, him and Gobbler are going to have their leadership lowered, and they're pretty much alone. These Night Goblins, these are the Regiments of Renown. These are, I think, the 8-peak Loonies are the ones that are unbreakable. Their leadership right now is at 100. And they're just going to stand and fight. They're applying that damage. Goblin Wolf Riders came from Vanguard deployment in Deep Reserve. They're a unit that I love in the Greenskins lineup, but you can't use them like this. Their only job in this type of battle is to find a unit that's running, like let's say these Plague Monk Censer Bearers, or these Rat Ogres, and make sure they never come back. That's their job. If you're throwing, Goblin Wolf Riders in a melee like this, you're doing it wrong. Some of the Goblins have returned, the Trolls have returned, and now it's just an enormous pit fight where Skrolk, honestly, excels. And also, the more units you gather around an Assassin, the worse chance you're going to have to beat the blob. The Assassin's ability to lower melee attack by 44 is enormous. And we'll see, I'm sure he's popped that ability already. But that's going to mean that you're going to be losing all of your trades, right? Even your very powerful units, like these Savage Orc Biggins, who, they're bigger and odder, but they can't land a hit when their melee attack is 20, It's going to be so hard to do. The Rusty Arrows are still online, they're uncontested. They're kind of just shooting into, looks like whatever they can hit. The Council Guard, they're down to 28 models, but they are unbreakable, and they will fight to the end. Great armor piercing, but there's really no armor on this side of the battlefield. Trolls don't really have armor. Savage Orcs don't have armor. The Night Goblin Shaman here being forced to fight. 5 kills on him. Probably more as a means of leadership and encouragement aura than any real hope that they'll be able to do any damage. So it looks like there are some Rat Ogres here who chased. They chased all the way to the end of the map. Those guys need to come back. They'll be sorely needed in this engagement as the Trolls run back in. We see here some summons from Skrolk. This is just a huge pit fight. I mean, the Wheels of Doom causes terror. Terror is an excellent mechanic versus trolls. Trolls themselves cause fear, but they are not immune to psychology, so terror is something that works very well against them. And a lot of these units are shattered. And that's going to be it. Man, what a quick battle. Jesus, 5 minutes. Man, that went by extremely quick. And that's basically due to the types of builds that each player had. And, you know, it was a little difficult for me to to keep up with the action there. But I think a good strategy here, you know, you take the Prodder, you take the Vindictive Glare, and you take the Gaze of Mork, and in one moment, right, you see Lord Skrolk, he crests the hill, you get a good angle, and you just pop him, boom, 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 and you'll take down Lord Skrolk to like zero health. If you use them all at the same time, assuming they hit, of course, they can be a little bit unreliable, but I think that would have been a pretty sweet strategy. And I also like the sneaky stealing on the Night Goblin Shaman to, you know, limit Lord Skrolk's magic casting. I think playing the Skaven, if you're ever going to make a blob style army like this, the Assassin is a must include. I like his other choices as well. The Doom Wheels gave him some mobility and some terror, which is something that's very good versus the Greenskins. Trolls here, very heavy on the troll build, maybe expecting perhaps some Hell Pit Abominations. And the trolls are excellent at surrounding and beating those things down, but, you know, without really kind of the leadership, keeping them in the fight, the stand your grounds, or let's say a Goblin Big Boss to fight next to them, I find that trolls in lineups against terror-causing factions that are more likely to bring terror-causing units, trolls really suffer. So, like, for instance, if you're fighting the Empire, right? The Empire, the only terror-causing unit that I'm aware of, aside from the Altdorf Griffites, is the Steam Tank. And I guess, you know what, no, let me take that back, because Karl Franz sometimes, you know, or Boris Todbringer, you'll bring him on a Griffin. I'm trying to think of a unit. Bretonnia is probably a good example as well, where you shouldn't expect terror too much. So that you got to find your niche for the trolls. They're a very niche unit, and bringing them in the wrong lineup can really spell doom. And the fact that this battle ended with 3 troll groups in this kind of great health was pretty rough. And I think had he not lost Skarsnik so early by throwing him into a situation where he was ultimately surrounded, you know, he probably had a better chance. I think if I run this simulation, this battle, multiple times over and over, I would think that this force here would come out on top against this one most of the time. I think just a little bit perhaps of layering of forces. Let the goblins take the initial brunt of the fighting. Let the savage orcs come in behind and inundate, not take full charges. Let the squig hoppers fully envelop from the rear. There's nothing to stop you. There's nothing on this lineup that will keep you from waiting to engage the front line until you have that backline pressure ready to come in. So let the Skaven player march towards you. If you even have to back up your front line while you get all your squigs and squig hoppers in position, you just do that. I mean, this much cavalry, squigs I guess don't quite count as cavalry, but I mean, look at the kills on them. Squigs versus clan rats is a pretty good fight for the squigs. But yeah, I think you just engage, you consolidate your forces, you engage all at once, you get a big surround, you try and snipe out the leadership with the spells that you bring, and I think for the most part you would do just fine. Just keep the trolls on top of the Doom Wheels, and you have a good chance to keep them from running amok. One of them looked like it was nearly taken down, or it was, during that battle. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I want to say big thanks to these guys for, you know, being subscribers, being on the Discord, and for sending me replays. I've got tons of replays to go through, and I'm starting to work through those today. Some of them are a little bit older replays, so I'm going to have to see, make sure there's no sorts of compatibility issues. But guys, if you'd like to send me replays, all you have to do is check the link for the Discord in the description down below this video, and there's a section in my Discord for sending me Total War Warhammer 2 replays. So once again, y'all, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Take care.